Title of this video is Message from the Real God. Message from the Real God. I like to dedicate this video to the late, great constitutional enforcer, Mary Omni. Mary Omni is what she wanted to be identified with. You can find her when you go to Constitutional Enforcer on YouTube. Very powerful woman with the echo. Never held her tongue. She was strong in what she believed till the day she left us. And when she left us from Alaska, and what y'all don't understand, in Revelation chapter 18, they use the word Alaska 2 times. This is why Russia is always flying its planes through Russia, its war jets through Alaska. You might not know the history of how the United States of America, whoever they called themselves back then, allegedly brought Alaska from the Russians, but the Russians are always implying that that is still their territory. So every now and then, good old Putin sends a few war jets flying through Alaska, and you see the destruction of Babylon the Great in Revelation chapter 17, and in Revelation chapter 18 it goes, alas, alas. And it was my association with the late great Mary Omni that led me to that. Now some people might say, well, you're the same person who had issues with Mary Omni. No, Mary Omni, just like my good old sister, loved my sister, but she had a big mouth. See, I'm not going to water down the truth, just like Mary didn't water down the truth. Mary had a big mouth, and sometimes that mouth gets you in trouble, just like my sister got in trouble. I'm sure Moses loved his sister Miriam, but Miriam didn't know when to shut up, so God had to come smack her with leprosy. Sometimes we have to learn to respect the word of God. Now, as I talk to you, I see this strange looking statue, and I'm going to say that to the end of the video because that's a weird looking statue, but they're both pointed upward, looking upward. So this guy, you can see his ribs coming out. This is a crazy statue. So maybe there's a reason why God's showing this statue now, but it is looking upward. And I see a lot of stuff I really don't even talk about no more too much. But I want to stay on topic for this video. The real God. All right, but first let me find where we can find Mary Omni. Because some of y'all might go look her up. Who knows? I know it's C-O-N. Then I think it goes E-N-F-O-R-C-E-R. Try that first. Go to a YouTube search engine. C-O-N-E-N-F-O-R-C-E-R. What I like about Mary Omni is she was such a powerful speaker, talking loud with the reverb, that you could hear some stuff she said 6-7 years ago, and it still rings. Okay, here's a piece of trash calling her dirt. But that was 4 years ago, and she would have that type of effect. He said, this is a hate video. She would have that kind of effect on you. But I figure if you're not moving people, you're doing your job wrong. So you do want to move them one way or another. And of course, this is a non-melanated piece of trash that said that. A non-melanated piece of trash that said that. All right, so I'm going to see if we can find her if she's still out there. If not, they got rid of her because I was not able to locate her. Give me one moment. Because it wouldn't be right to talk about the black goddess and not mention Mary Omni. So ironically, how things work out, I can't show you everything because of the way things are, but I'm going to show you this guy is sitting there talking trash about the that's how she used to write it. But it's the Constitution Enforcer, or Constitutional Enforcer, whichever one she called herself. But that's how she wrote it. And but you see the number 13 and then the number 310, which is 13 backwards. See, what you're looking at is a universal curse put on this piece of trash. And if you're really, you can't see the whole video that I can, but basically, it's the end of what he represents. It's the end of what he represents. I always tell you guys about switch on, switch off. 1331. 13 is a switch on. 31 is a switch off. And by divine intervention, I announce, I didn't place it, but I announce his end. Now look at this. Even further, because I really wish I could show y'all this. Now I'm looking at something. It says 5 insane convict freakouts after giving life sentences. After giving life sentences, and it's the number 10 minutes and 3 seconds, which is 13 again. So once again, like I told you, this man's curse is being carried out. In fact, I'm going to find out when his last video was, because this was back in 2014, August 12th, 2014, when he did this video. Now, when I look at it, it says total idiots at work. It's 8 minutes and 54 seconds, which again is 13. 8 and 5 is 13, and 4 is the number of angels. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. And I still haven't even told you why this is important, but I will. But you're going to have to be patient, because now I want to save this entire these pictures. And you're not going to see these pictures to the end, but all these pictures will be in this video. See, this is the full moon going to shake it up, baby. The full blood moon is going to shake it up. So this guy is called a total idiot by the universe, and they say a life sentence. But I had already told y'all that. Before I saw this numerology, I had already told you why I'm here. Little unfinished business. But I'm just a messenger. I got nothing to do with this. But I just want to hear what this piece of trash said. But that's how these races are. They'll call a black woman a piece of dirt. Which she is. She is the black earth. If you knew your metaphysics. And you'll be going to dirt soon if you haven't already gone there, brother. And I use that term facetiously. And again, I didn't come here for this, but this is where the universe takes me. So he said that was the only upload he had 4 years ago. Ironically. And his home channel has a red light. A red light. Isn't that apropos? A black street light with red on it. The end of the road. So when he cursed her, he actually prophesied his own death. This is quite interesting. All right, so I got to hear what he had to say in his little 3-minute, 10-second video or 3-minute 11 video, which depends on how you look at it. And I'll be back. Now, if you all notice that song that came on, Paradise. And I did him one night. I did ask for Rose. I showed y'all his connections to the Divine Feminine. And I also Kurt Cobain, all these dudes. Sometimes it's not a color thing. But and that's why what did Kurt like Nirvana, that's another word for paradise. Now you gotta understand, in the Bible the blackness came. This is Luke chapter 23, verses 43 to 46. Right at the 6th hour, because that's her number. 666 is her number. Melanin. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electron. Melanin. This is all Bobby Hemmett teaching, one of the greatest master teachers of all time. And what was sweet about Bobby Hemmett, although he didn't believe in necessarily a God to say Christians believe in, he definitely knew about the presence of that divine darkness that I'm talking about in this video. Now, in your Bible, because this might be the first time you heard it. This is why I want to tell y'all, I'm really going to be on the other channel. That's the members only, because we're going to stop all this bullshit on, well, I am. So I never go with the crowd. I always been by myself. I'm strong by myself. I don't need nobody telling me I'm great and all that. I know that already. I don't worry about nothing. But I've been a teacher for over 40 decades. This is all I do, study and teach. I don't play games. But I'm going to be on the member section because I'm only dealing with people that give back. You're not just going to keep on getting information, never get back because you curse and everything around you curse. But that's probably people out here like in the wilderness. Those people wandered in the wilderness for 40 years being cursed. And that's what you see on YouTube. They run to every channel like a freaking groupie. They don't got no word from God. They just listen to a voice. You following a man, you following a woman, you following a video, how the person do the video. But you're not following the spirit. You think you are. But anybody can say they spiritual. That doesn't mean you are. You got to have power behind that. That's how you know you're speaking for God. You got power behind you. The way you move, you work. You can see the universe revolving around you and shit. That's how you know you got power. And still that power got to be in harmony with God's timetable. Otherwise, you can be out of time with the Most High. Or Most Highness. Whatever you want to call God in this case. So in the Bible, carbon, melanin. If you know, the Bible talks about the prophet Elijah is going to come back before the coming of the great and fear-inspiring day of the Lord. The prophet Elijah is going to restore all things. This is all in your Bible. Prophet Elijah, prophet Elias, all Elijah. Now, prophet Elijah is known for Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel, where he called fire to come down, is carbon melanin. On the last day, which Christians call the rapture, the coming again, that's the day of fire, where God is going to consume or eat the flesh and drink the blood of all his enemies. See, you don't understand what happened with Mass. Just like the 13th son tried to teach you, the real Mass was when they was a mass execution of the Moors. This is why the Mass got M.A. in it. Because the Moors, the Murs, Maz, and I just say the melanated people. The reason why I don't just like saying Moors, because then you think I'm talking about some type of people. No, I'm not. I'm talking about melanated people. Because the melanated people got the God particle. Even Paul Bagley knows it. He calls it dark matter. But if you notice, he starts off every show with, are you serious? Are you serious? Because he's telling you he has divine knowledge. That's not a coincidence that he goes, are you serious? If you notice a lot of stuff he talks about, most Christians wouldn't even touch. Because he has esoteric knowledge. He has hidden knowledge. You just got to watch the show, the shit he talks about. And like I said, I don't deal with stupid people. Because out here you have dumb people that don't research nothing. Don't do nothing. They want to talk. But where I'm from, you could lose your life fucking around. We don't play like that. You could lose your life. That's why I said my ministry is set up for people that are waking up. People that are going to study. You got to use your brain. You can't be dumbed down by white supremacy. And that's what it is. If all they talking about is the modern technology, dancing, music, and all that shit, but they never talk about spirituality, you are being dumbed down by the enemy. That's why the enemy don't never talk about nothing that really matters. Nothing about astrology. No, they don't talk about real science. They don't talk about shit. So you got dumbed down motherfuckers, and then they got the audacity to think they're going, you could never hold a conversation with me. You would be spit on, and the shit would be beat out of you. You're the reason why people been enslaved for hundreds of years. So I just showed you, just gave you references. Prophet Elijah, told you what that means. Told you about Mount Carmel, which is carbon melanin. Fire comes down either First Kings 17, 1 Kings 18. You see the black cloud. That's the divine mother. She was always in clouds. Moses went into the darkness where God was. Exodus 20:21. At the 6th hour at the cross, it became dark. As soon as he said, today you will be with me in paradise. I just met a female. I won't say I met her. I saw a female. Beautiful female. And that's what she called herself, Paradise. Now, just on the radio, it just came on. I had to get a delivery, which had the alarm clock on. And the song came on, Paradise. Because if you understand, the paradise is her divine womb. The paradise is her divine darkness, where all creation came from. If you go to Genesis chapter 1, divine darkness. The light came out of that. If you go to John chapter 1, darkness. the sun came out of the darkness. The sun was with God. And that S-O-N is synonymous with S-U-N. There is no difference metaphysically or metaphorically speaking. The only people that do this is dumbass people and people that want to divide. That's why you got people that got the same color. Like no disrespect to Captain Tazariak of ISUPK. But I ain't no damn African. Okay, you might not be an African, but y'all all melanated. Your division, and even Brother Polite checked your ass because you Hebrews, y'all really came from Ethiopia. If you check your background. So how you gonna say you ain't no African when your original organization came from Ethiopia? Now you acting like you ain't got no connection. So somebody sold the fuck out. And I've always resonated with East Africa. So we're not here to play games. So I just showed you in the Bible, and you got the woman at the well at the 6th hour. John chapter 4, verse 6 and 11. And the well is deep. Now, that's the divine womb. Any well, any bottomless pit, any hollow be thy name. All that's the divine womb, from which everything came out of, and everything will return one way or another. And Brother Polite also showed you in the Quran. That's why everybody hate Brother Polite, but you're also busy looking at what he did or didn't do. Y'all don't ever study the metaphysical shit he be dropping. That's what I mean by cooning. But y'all still read the Bible though. If you know how much sin has gone by the people that gave you that Bible, how much corruption they did, murder, rape, you name it, they did it all and gave you that Bible. But you won't say shit about them, but you damn sure attack a Negro. Rather be the 13th son, Brother Polite, you name it. Any black male to come out here and try to teach, the moment y'all see anything, that's all y'all look at. Because you want to stay cooned out and stupid. Then when somebody like me that gave my whole life to save, and I see the patheticness of these coon-ass motherfuckers, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. Fuck them niggas. Because I'm a real nigga. That's how we get down. Ain't no bitches over here. We ain't got no time for no sellouts, no weak-ass motherfuckers. Because we out here struggling every day. We out here fighting every day. We don't got time for the silly shit. So like I said, how I would see a Brother Polite, I don't got no problem with that nigga. But if he got a problem doing business with people, I wouldn't do business with him. But you get the same shit when you go in the stores. When you go to the mall shopping, you picking up a shirt that they pay like a nickel for. You picking up a shirt that they paid the nickel for. Because they get all that shit wholesale. They paid the nickel for that fucking shirt, and you spending like 400, you spending like 40 or more dollars for a shirt or some shit. When they pay like a nickel for it. Because they get it all on wholesale. But you don't be boycotting the store. Oh, you know, you ripping all that. That's why I say that's some cool and stupid ass shit. And where I'm from, we handle things like men. You understand? Well, I got a situation with a nigga. I mean, I'm not gonna come on YouTube and tell the whole world like no cool, no sellout bitch shit. I'm gonna handle it with that nigga. There was a dude in Queens named Rap Master Shane, and I was trying to do business with that dude back in the day. But it was real difficult. You know what I'm saying? This dude was just real difficult. And I'm sending him all type of finances to get my shit. Because he's a DJ. He was a DJ. So he wouldn't send me my shit. And I'm like, nah, nigga, where I come from, you don't let nobody take no shit. Plus, I was a lot younger. Nowadays, I'd be like, fuck it. I'm too old. I'm not fucking with these motherfuckers. People had a fucking heart attack fucking with these crazy ass motherfuckers. But back then, I was going to hunt your ass to the end of the earth like a motherfucking Canadian Mountie and shit. So I'm like, I'm not letting this nigga get away with it. So then I had people I know how to call, keep calling you. It was people that kept calling him. So he was like, yo, Gas, stop fucking with me and shit. I said, I'm going to get my shit. But then, show you how powerful my family can be. My mom Deuce was visiting somebody in Queens. So I was like, yo, mom, find out where this spot is and go over here and get my shit and shit. So my mother's like, all right. So I was like, yo, Shane, my mom's coming to get my shit. That cool? He's like, yeah, ain't no problem and shit. So you know, me and him had differences, right? But it wasn't that serious. I was like, yo, nigga, I was trying to support your business, but it's hard to support y'all niggas because y'all don't want to, you know, give me my shit because he's like a DJ, music. Give me my shit. And he was like, man, I'm from Queens. We don't get down like that. We don't do shit like that in New York. I'm like, well, how you gonna have a business if somebody orders something you don't mail it out and shit? What the fuck? So he kind of knew he was wrong and shit. So, but he did good because my mom's case, she went through the hood. She went through Queens and shit. Knocked on that nigga's door, whatever. So he gave her the tapes he owed me, and he gave her like a poster, and he gave her an autograph and shit. So that was real cool on that nigga. See, I'm a real live nigga. Like you would see me. This ain't no bitch shit. Like say, why don't you ever, nigga? Because I'm not in no TV shit, nigga. I did TV in 1998. I'm here dropping truth for people that want it. But if you really want it, then do something about it. Because all that groupie shit y'all do, y'all cursed for doing it. And so my dudes came back with this shit. So everybody was saying, man, you don't ever do that to. They said you sent your moms in the Queens and shit, like boo 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 boo. I was just mad. I didn't even see it like that. But my family thorough, my nigga. My older sister, rest in peace, used to knock men out. I seen my older sister knock men out. This one dude was supposed to be nice with his hands. He couldn't do nothing with my sister. She was out boxing that nigga. He picked up a vacuum cleaner and tried to hit her with it. And he still couldn't win. Like way before MMA, that was like my older sister. And my mother, way before aerobics and shit, my mother used to be doing aerobics on the floor. She wake up early in the morning just doing aerobics and shit. Way before that shit came on television. Not no cowards over here. That's all the divine feminine. That's the divine dark goddess. Everything I'm saying. So give me 1 second. I was about to do something else. And then we're going to finish this video. And again, these videos I drop. I do this channel now kind of like Twitter. Like you might tweet, but then life go on. So I'm not going to keep the videos up and all that. If you get it, you got it. Like I said, I'm going to be in the member section. That's what it is. That's where everything's going to stay. As far as being documented and docked out. All right. So we're going to keep it moving. Yeah, so I don't know if Medgar Evers did anything that would require a pardon, but I know that this country gave him a hard way to go. But what I might have heard was at the same time they was talking about Medgar Evers. What I probably heard was at the same time they was talking about Jack Johnson and John McCain, they just mentioned Medgar Evers. And plus, Medgar Evers' older brother asked Obama to pardon some other stuff. So maybe I just heard it at the same time and I just put it together. All I know is they gave Medgar Evers a hard way to go. And they treated him like a criminal, whether they got him for anything or not. So there you go. But again, anything I said in this video, like even with the name Evers, is E-V-E. That's Eve. That's the divine womb. The evening, the night, the divine womb. This is all Bible metaphors. Now, in Mer language, the letter Ara means ruler. So if you ever say Evar, ever, she's telling you that her, the Eve, the divine womb, the divine night, the divine evening is the ruler. So that's really what the word ever means. And she ain't going nowhere. She's everlasting. She's the beginning and the end. It's always about her. The faster you realize that, the better off you'll be. Like I said, we're at a time now that there's a great awakening, but it don't even matter because she's about to burn everything in the spirit. The wicked, and you got to understand this is from her viewpoint. The wicked is anybody. All you got to do is read Matthew 25. The wicked is anybody that did any adverse stuff to her melanated children. That's a fact. That's why he said that you're the Messiah saying my brother. Just like I said, if you was to get a picture of what the Messiah really looked like, it wouldn't look like no white dude. You know what I'm saying? It won't look like no Palestinian, nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? So he's talking about his brothers. This is right in Matthew 25. But these devils, they want to keep on seeing it and acting like it ain't there. Like some people, oh, I don't want to talk about hell. I don't, but that's where you going. You should talk about it, because if you talk about it, you can learn how to get out of it. But they so fucking wicked, they just think I'm going to do what I want and I'm going to skip town on Judgment Day. You ain't skipping shit. So we don't play games. Like I said, I'm coming from a purely teaching perspective, and I'm only going to be teaching people who actually want to learn. Now, if motherfuckers is acting silly, stupid like that, you're going to have issues anyway. Plus, fucking around with me, you're going to get cursed. Because I know I come from God. You can't fuck around. Just like if an angel came down right now and you disrespecting the angel, you're going to get cursed. Some shit is common sense. I'm sorry if you're stupid and don't read or study. That's not my problem. That's why I said I could never have a problem with Brother Polite. First off, he melanated just like me. Brother Polite has brought so much understanding to us, but y'all so much cooning, all y'all want to talk about is gossip shit. Oh, he did this, he did that, I heard that. It's been so many times they say he did some shit, and he a real man, so he come back and stand, and he ain't even do it. Y'all going by gossip. Now, am I saying he didn't scam? He probably did scam some motherfuckers. Well, then learn how to read. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at that. Fuck that nigga. Like, he ain't scamming me. He'd be like, what's up, brother? No disrespect whatsoever. I know you a scholar, but no, I don't wanna do business. I done heard too much. You know what I'm saying? But he's still cool with me. I ain't got no problem with the nigga. To me, that's the same way as when you work with somebody and they trying to get a ride. No, you ain't getting a ride with me, my nigga. Every time your niggas get in my car, I had trouble with police or some other crazy shit. Because that's God's way of saying, that's a grown man just like you. Why are you driving another grown man around? That grown man got to learn how to get his own shit. Just like I did, however he did it. And whatever I've done, I always put God first. More people need to do that. Because if you put God first, you will find God helping you through all your problems. I got some medical shit on that now. My shit might get amputated. You see me do I sound like I'm crying? I don't even give a fuck. I put my trust in God. That's why I said it's a dude out here. I ain't going to say his name because he's a very controversial preacher. But he said that shit. He said, I might be getting ready to go to jail. He said, I'm an old man. He said, I might die in prison. He said, do I sound like I'm scared of y'all? I said, yeah, that's why I like this dude, because he like fire and shit. And when you really walk with God, that's how you are. So now we're going to get into this, whoever made it. And I'm going to say Mississippi. And that's Miss. M-I-S-S, that's Miss. I is always going to be God. And all them S's mean serpents, because that's her. Them serpents represent that divine feminine. That's why if you read John chapter 3, it talks about the night, N-I-G-H-T. That's your evening or eve. It talks about going back into the mother's womb. That's your hollow. Our fat her. Witch. A witch is a woman in black, is in heaven. Hollow be thy name. Hallowed be thy name. So you're praising that divine womb. Fat her, hollow. You can't make this shit up. But if you want to believe what white supremacy taught you, you're going to keep on talking stupid. And I don't got time talking to stupid ass people. I'm busy. So M-I-S-S, Miss. Feminine, I, God. And put them SS like them serpents. And why do you think the Nazis knew? The Nazis knew this science. That's why he said, hell. Hell means he's worth. Like how you go to your Bible right now, they say hell. When Jesus got resurrected, they say hell. Hail Mary, hail the divine feminine. Because he knew who she was. And most of the stuff the Nazis did, they learned from the Moors. Their ancient symbol they use is a Hindu symbol. But see, when I use more, I use it more generic. I'm just mean melanated people, the ancient, the indigenous people of the land, the real gods of the planet. Or the sons of God, daughters of gods. They're melanated. But they just call them Moors now. And they can use that as a diversion. Because then you think you got to be a Moor. No. This precedes them. Feels like no disrespect, but I stick with Seti. Because a lot of the Moors came in Ethiopia, but that's what I resonate with. Ethiopia. So them niggas up in my territory shooting us up and shit. Melanated just like me. So I see, I'm not saying every single one of them a traitor, but it is, they did some fucked up shit. So I ain't talking about them necessarily. I'm talking about melanated people. All right, so let me get back on track. Just give me a minute because I'm trying to clear out all this. stuff. Then we're going to go on to this beautiful goddess that's before you, and then we'll end this video. So some people say, well, when Jesus said, truly I tell you, today you shall be with me in paradise, did him and that guy on the cross go with him? Did they go somewhere at that moment? Because that's when the darkness showed up. Was that darkness a portal? Did they go anywhere? Now, first off, you got to understand that any form of physicality, any form of time is an illusion. So this is what people have hard to understand. Just like they say Wallace Farad was God, or the person of God. Same thing if you want to look at Messiah in the Bible. He was never out of eternity. And even when he felt cut off from the source, he was never really cut off. He was judged. Now this is where people want to argue all day. They say yes, he was cut off because he became sin and he was thoroughly cut off. But I would tell you to use common sense. And this is where people get mad because they don't know how to use common sense. When Jesus started feeling cut off from source, he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. Keep in mind, God gave me the name Gad. See, we're going to do it God's way. We're not going to do it humans' way, because humans be stupid. So in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus is crying out because he don't feel the Father's presence, the her presence. And then she sends an angel, or God sends an angel to strengthen him in the Garden of Gethsemane. So if he was really cut off, would she send an angel? She was common sense. Did he become sin? Yes, he did. Was he cut off? He was cut off in the sense that he became sin. And he probably felt it. But something he said is the same thing God will say. I will never leave you nor forsake you. So if you're serving God, because that's what David thought. David thought, oh, God is mad at me because I made all these mistakes. So now it's people I want to have killed, but I'm not going to kill them myself. Even though I'm the king, I'm not going to order their executions, but I'm going to get my son to do it. But I'm going to wait till I die. Therefore, God can't get me. So David came up with all this scheming shit, what he thought was righteous executions as a king. But he wasn't man enough to stand up and tell God, listen. See, me and God go back and forth. Y'all don't have to believe me. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's like this. You could be filthy, spiritually rich, but all these people, because they know we're on your level, they can't see it. And plus, they still hating and all this stupid shit the motherfuckers do. I don't got no time for that petty ass shit. Y'all make choices, and then when you get the ill results of your choices, you want to be mad. You the one that made the fucking choice. Even Joseph Prince said that. Joseph Prince said, listen, when God told him this is the law, immediately they said, everything the Lord has said we shall do. And Joseph Prince said they shouldn't have said that, because that's when they locked themselves into the penalty of the law is death or eternal damnation or hell. They should have said, oh Lord, your ways are great. we could never obey you because your ways are much greater than ours. Then God would work that away for them to do it, which he did anyway. But now they had to still go through the process of condemnation, death, and all that other shit. That's why I said, as king, David had a right to execute anybody that he felt had it coming. If he felt that he had a reason for it, a real reason. And when God told the people through Samuel that they was going to receive a king, he told them that king can do anything. That king can come in your house and take whatever you want because he's a king. But God was expecting the king to act righteously and be obedient to God. And sometimes David did not act righteously, and sometimes David was not obedient to God. But he was still king, which gave him still the right to say, okay, this person threw rocks at me. He's to be put to death immediately. You don't throw rocks at the king. But he didn't do that because he thought God was going to be mad. So even though David started out knowing God, this is why I warn people, but y'all motherfuckers don't care. And I say that from the heart because all I see is a bunch of sellout, coward-ass bitches. Y'all will sell out quicker than a motherfucker and act like you didn't. So I'd rather duke it out. I'd rather duke it out instead of taking the coward way out. But it depends on who I'm talking to. With God, it's everything. Because God is everything. With another human, fuck another human. Because another human going to lie and lie and lie. Another human going to get you caught up in some bullshit that don't got nothing to do with you. I done been on this planet long enough to tell you. So for another human, we ain't even got to talk about it. Because I ain't wasting my fucking breath. With God, I ain't got to hide nothing from God. How you going to hide something from somebody to see everything? That's just stupid. So that's how far David fell. Here was one of the men that really was face to face with God. David could have went down in the history of a Noah or an Enoch or a Samuel. All of these were people that were friends with God. But David fell off. Why? Because that's what I'm talking about. You want the women. You want the material things of earth. You want the status of being the king. And David knew what it was like to be on a run. And that's why every time he pissed God off, God made David go back on a run. Because that's how David got the kingdom. He was on a run, running from King Saul. So David hated being on a run. He wanted to be sitting on that throne being king. So whenever David pissed God off, God put David on the run. So with God, I'd rather take it to God. Even your Bible say take your complaints to God. That's in the Bible, the word complaint. A lot of y'all don't think you complain to God, but that's in your Bible. Look it up. If I can find it real quick, I'll look it up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And it was King David that said it, nonetheless. The word complain is 9 times in the Bible. First time is at 1 Samuel. Now remember, anything with Samuel is dealing with the first king of Israel, King Saul, and then possibly King David. Because it was Samuel that picked King David to be the king to replace Saul. Now, the book of Job, which we've been studying, we started studying it on this channel, but now we're studying it in the members section. The book of Job has the word complaint numerous times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's singular, complaint. Then, of course, Psalms 55 has it. And Psalms 55 is about David's sin. David's sin with Bathsheba. So even though David was sinning, he wrote a psalm. Psalms 55 is about David sinning with Bathsheba. And he used the word complaint in that psalm. Isn't that interesting? Psalms 102 verse 1. A prayer of the afflicted when he is overwhelmed and poureth out his complaint before the Lord. So when you walk with God like I do, you know you got to take that to God. You got to take your complaint before the Lord. Psalms 55:22 says, cast all your burdens before the Lord. See, this is why I love what I do. Because I know I'm led by the Spirit of God. The word complaint takes me to the same Psalms. Psalms 55, which is David talking about his sin with Bathsheba. It has the word complaint in it. And also says, take all your burdens to the Lord. Just like I said. Most of y'all don't know God, so you don't even know you can do that. You don't even know you can take your complaints to the Lord. But I'm going to be heard. I poured out my complaint before him. I showed before him my trouble. Psalms 142, verse 2. Now let's see if that same word is in the Bible plural more than one time. One time in the New Testament. This is the only time the word complaint is in the New Testament, but it is plural. Now, give me a moment. Let me just read this. And when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood around about and laid many and grievous complaints against Paul, which they could not prove. And that's how it is when you're serving God. You got a lot of people talking trash, but they can't prove shit. Just like they couldn't prove nothing against Messiah, so they had to lie and get fake witnesses and all kind of crazy shit. That's why you can't take these clowns serious. Even though they're threatening you. They threatening your life, threatening your body high. You can't take these clowns serious. Like the Bible said, they're like a drop in the bucket. They here right now and they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone forever. And I'm going to be somewhere chilling. Basking in the Lord. That's why when you really believe this shit, you live it. It's not no fake shit. All this punk ass shit. David was the only dude that stood up against Goliath. The entire military of Israel ain't do shit. Goliath was disrespecting them, disrespecting their king, disrespecting God, and they ain't do shit. Help me never to be like that, Lord. Maybe it's Psalm. I want to know which Psalm it is. Maybe Psalm 51 is David's sin. I don't know. David's Psalms of Repentance, Psalms 51 and 32. All right, so what's Psalms 51? Psalms 55, he's calling out to God because his enemies is getting on his nerves and he wants God to do something about it. But it got the word nig. It got the like Negro. If you go to Psalms 55, it depends on what Bible you use it. But it got the word N-E-G, something else. And it got the word I. I just told you what the word I mean. So you got Negro right there. That's why I said if you know how to read and study, you can see it if you're really looking for it. But if you're a coon ass nigga, you a groupie. You out here on YouTube running everybody's channel, all kind of silly shit. So no matter how much somebody teach you, you're gonna keep going back to coon ass nigga shit. Which is like wasting my fucking time. And that's why I said the Bible said don't throw your pearl before swines and shit. Let these niggas believe whatever they want, and they better hope their mama come save them. Cause if she say fuck y'all screwed. All y'all niggas gonna be burning in hell. Stupid ass. Don't study. Don't want to learn. Don't want to have no type of character. No type of fortitude. You better hope she's as merciful as y'all think she is. That's all I got to say. Like Paul said the same thing. I wash my hands clean of this shit. Pontius Pilate said the same thing fucking with you niggas. He said, I wash my hands clean of this shit. I'm good. All right. When I come back, we're going to get into this picture. But that's the message she wants me to bring. And then we're going to get out of here. All right. So now we're looking at the picture that's in front of you. And we're going to explain the message. First thing I notice, her wings. It's so beautiful. And when I see that, it makes me think of Malachi chapter 4. But there's a scripture in Isaiah that women use. Because I know somebody I had been with for 8 years. Then we went into separation. And I remember seeing that person at the separation. And she showed me that scripture. And I didn't understand it. But metaphysically, you'll understand it. Now, in church, when they go through those services where people are getting the Holy Spirit, and you see women starting to move their body like birds and stuff. And me, I would try to understand it, but like they don't, you're not supposed to ask questions why. Which I do, I get the answers, but you're not going to get it from those people. Because it's kind of like a ritual that they just do, and you should mind your business. And they get offended. Whereas I've always been, I have to know for the most part. And I've had people tell you, well, you're not going to know everything and blah, blah, blah. But God's always giving me answers, though. Even when I thought God wasn't going to give me the answer, God gave me the answer. So I think, again, like I'm always going to say, life is what you put into it. And no, you can't control what other people do around you, but you can control what you do. And say, well, what are you saying? Are you saying you should strive for the top all the time? What I'm saying is you shouldn't always be happy at the bottom. That's what I'm saying. And for some reason, people are happy at the bottom when it comes to doing for God. But then when it's something they want to do for themselves, you see all this energy and all this relentless ain't going to give up. So that's disrespectful to God. So that's what I be attacking. It's 1:44 p.m. Reminded me of 144,000. Now, when I look at this picture, it just reminds me of Parliament Funkadelic. I don't know who the artist is for this picture. But I might do some research when I'm done. In fact, if y'all don't mind, but even if you do, I'm still going to do it. But I'm going to do a quick search. on this picture and see what comes up. Because this is all about the message. All right, now all this beautiful art has come up. Of course, the infamous Baphomet has come up. And I'll probably show you these pictures at the end. I'll show you all these pictures at the end of the video. And some of the artwork looks similar, but also different. Because you got to understand, usually like the artists, they're usually inspired by somebody. Just like if you see a rapper, you might hear a rapper you like. Because I mean, when I was coming up, well, not really when I was coming up, but in the 1990s, you know, we all thought Lord Finesse was nice, which he is and was. And I might have heard of Percy P, but I really never really heard Percy P rhyming until like 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. And I heard him, and then I went looking for him, and then I saw him rhyming with Lord Finesse in the projects in New York. And I was like, man, that dude is real nice. And then I saw him with Slim Shady. When Slim Shady was first starting to come out, he was with Percy P. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is this artist who did this picture, they may have studied and learned things from other artists. They may, like some of these pictures y'all looking at, this artist may have also looked at those pictures. And see, Baphomet has that crescent moon, just like the High Priestess. And again, people get afraid, but this is education. And I'm going to say it again. For the most part, life is usually what you make of it. Now, sometimes we are victims by other people's whatever, indiscretions. But right now, I'm just studying these pictures. Because at the end, it seems to be all about some type of balance and serpents. But serpents are used to represent eternity because they shed their skin. Like when I used to do garbage, it was always this one bug that was always a problem. It was a flying bug, but that's what it would do. It would actually shed its skin, come out its body like a serpent does. But when it would come out its body, it would do this unbelievable yell. Kind of scary. And that was really like the only bug. I think it's called like a acacia, some type of bug. Y'all can look it up. Yup, KCIA. Okay, and it's funny because the female I'm talking about, her name is Acacia. Because Acacia wood is with the Hebrews. But this bug used to like I'm talking not the same bug, but it was a family of bugs. And I think it is called Acacia bug. I really believe that. Yup. And ironically, those bugs look like those bugs kind of look like the mother bugs I told you about that look Egyptian. And those bugs was trying to invade this house. They almost took this house over. I went to war. That was the most severest war I had with insects, was them bugs, because they kept coming. So that's how you know, like, you metaphysical. Well, see, they say acacia bug, but that's not what I'm saying. Because what they're doing, they're saying acacia bug, but they're talking about the wood. So I don't know the name of that bug, but it's a flying bug. And when they come out that skin, they like yell. But it's just like serpents, because serpents come out their skin. I'm going to try one last time. What flying bug sheds its skin? What insect sheds its skin? Oh, I got it. Cicada. But it's almost like acacia. You can't get past it. Like I keep telling you, you have to look at everything you're doing as somebody else did it before you, and they organized it. And that's why you be, oh, what synchronicity, numerology, oh, but you don't realize whatever source created it. So it's gonna be numbers. Everything's gonna link up. It's supposed to. Just like if you're an organized person, if your room is organized and you're organized, somebody could go in your room and figure it out. They're gonna start seeing patterns and everything if you're organized. Cicada. I think that's it. Cicada insect. Come on, bro. Yep, that's it. So I'm gonna show you all a picture of it. That's exactly what it was. Like when I used to be on the route, they used to terrify you. Be flying all around, you know, kind of crazy shit. Now, I need y'all to listen. For anybody that's hearing this video, one time, because my garbage route, one of my routes was in Wanamass, New Jersey. So it was this one house right on the corner. Like what happened was you turned off a main street and then you went into this dead end. Now, in that dead end, because I used to also be a witness back then, knocking on doors. So when that dead end, I had people I used to go see, Pete and Diane. And I used to witness to them. But also it was a circle. It's a dead end, but it's a circle. And there's houses on both sides. But you got to turn onto Main Street to go in. But the first house to the left is where I had all these experiences. Now I need y'all to listen. Also in that little court or circle, my boss worked there. Like the boss of the garbage trucks in the garage, he lived in that circle. So that circle was always kind of metaphysical. But as soon as you entered it off the main street, the house to the left, 2 times. I'll tell you the time with the bug first. So I told you those bugs was always harassing me. But what I'm trying to tell you is there's a reason. Now I understand it because of metaphysics. It's a past life reason why those birds, not bird, why those bugs was always around me. So one day, now I had two different experiences with this house. Some metaphysical shit. I didn't know. Now this is the 1980s. I didn't know nothing about metaphysics. Didn't know nothing about how the universe really runs. Didn't know jack dilly squat. I just knew this was some weird shit. So one day I was just by myself. And when I mean by myself, because like the way we did the route, you might have a 2-man route. You might have a 3-man route. But where we worked at, it was like usually, it was it was like rich Jewish neighborhoods. But every neighborhood wasn't Jewish. But because of the rich Jewish people, they didn't have to put their garbage on the curb. You took a big green barrel, you rolled that barrel up until their yard, you found out where the garbage was, and you got their garbage. And you better put the lid back on the can, because if somebody complains, they send you all the way back to get it. I'm serious, you might be home, and your phone might ring, and it'd be your supervisor saying you got to come back because you ain't put the lid on the can. And of course, you know, you'd be mad. So, So that particular day, I was by myself because sometimes we split up. Because they would say, okay, well, two guys go down one street with the truck, and then one guy go down the other street and just get everything ready. And then we just got to come up with the truck and pick it up and get out of here. So that's how we used to do it. So at this particular house, I didn't have my barrel no more. Because like I said, some of those people have open garbage. And once that open garbage gets in your barrel, you can't really roll it no more. Because you got to leave the barrel because you can't take that garbage out. Because then the people will really be complaining. See, now they're showing you Gabriel on a Pluto. They're showing you Gabriel on the tarot card. And they're showing you Baphomet. Put the two cards together. Because you have Gabriel. Well, no, I'm not. I don't know if that's Gabriel or not. But you got the Lover's card. And that's some deep shit. This is the Lover's card from the tarot. So there's a reason why they're showing you that. Let me see if I can get this card. They might not explain it though. All right. So I had no barrel at the same house that always had some strange, which I know was metaphysics. Now I don't know what my connection was to that house, but it was always at this house. And remember, when you're doing a garbage route, you may service 400 or more houses a day, depending on how big your route is. And some routes were bigger than that. Some routes you may service 600 houses a day. So you definitely got your exercise. Most of that you were walking, running. You definitely got your exercise. So I don't have a barrel, and I'm at this house. And all of a sudden, one of those bugs flies above me. Like it's going to attack. Because I think it's going to attack. That's how I'm thinking. But now that I'm metaphysical, now I understand why. But that bug was just flying above me. Now, I don't know what to do. Because I always was scared of those bugs. Because I never saw, at that time, I never saw a bug make an audible sound like a human. But when that bug is coming out of his flesh, coming out of shedding, it'll yell like a freaking human, like a baby that's crying. Scares the hell out of you. So I'm looking at this bug. I don't know what to do. It's looking at me. I'm looking at it, and it's flying above me. I don't have no barrel. If I would have had my barrel, I would have tried to swat it or something with the barrel. So I don't know what to do. Now, across the street from that house is another house. And it was a bird. Now, whether that was my guardian angel or not, I don't know. But it was a bird on that house. Just sitting there watching everything. That bird flew off the house, flew to that bug, ate it, and flew away. And you heard that bug yelling inside that bird's mouth as that bird flew away. Now, that was divine protection, of course. It was some weird shit. But also in front of that same house one time, I found $20. I was broke. I had no money. And I found $20. But because of my religious beliefs, we believe that, well, this is what they taught. I'm not going to say nobody else did it but me. Well, the teaching is if you find money in any area, it's your obligation to walk in that area to see if anybody dropped it. And I did. Now, I'm broke. I found the $20. I went upstairs to that door and knocked on it. And the guy came to the door. I said, did anybody lose any money here? Blah, blah, blah. I told him. The guy said no. And I got to keep it. Because if he had lied, he could have just said, yeah, it was me. I would have gave it to him. Now, keep in mind, it's like the 1980s. Like about the late 1980s, 1987, 1988. And that's why I said a couple of Sundays ago that weird stuff happened. And that mockingbird, I was looking out my back door because all this weird stuff was going on with the birds and the squirrels. And later on, there was a black cat out there, all kind of crazy stuff. But that mockingbird came down, and that falcon was a bluebird was in the. But that mockingbird came down, and he lived, and I was right there. I was like at my back door at my deck, and that mockingbird landed right on the deck, right on when you walk across the rail. You put your hand on the rail and walk across the deck. But he landed right on that where you put your hand on the rail. He looked at me. He didn't even look scared. When he looked at me as to say, don't worry about this, I got this. Because the mockingbirds will get all them other birds out of all them other animals out of your yard and stuff. And he just looked and he just marched down like a soldier and shit. And that's not the first time the mockingbirds have made all the other animals get out. Especially if I got to work in the yard or something, the mockingbirds will come and make all them other animals leave. Like don't come in the yard. They'll make it like a no-fly zone or nothing. And they do that shit. So all that stuff is metaphysical, and it's connected to your connection to the Most High, but it's also connected to your past lives. And that's why I'm more into that, because I think people are just stupid, and you worry too much about this life. But the fact of the matter is, you can't change anything in this life. So like you might love somebody, that doesn't mean they're gonna love you. You might love a man, but that don't mean he's gonna be faithful to you. So you putting all your devotion into somebody that ain't gonna do the same for you. I think that's just stupid. I put my devotion into God. I mean, you could have people around you, but you don't love nobody more than you love God. All right. So let's do that. Let's do insect messages. What was the cicada trying to tell me? Now that I know more about metaphysics. Give me a second. I got a couple of things I got to do first. All right. Again, message from God, Blood Moon. I like how this artist did it though, because he tended to make her a little reddish. And I like the pants she got on, because them females be wearing them pants. Them pants make a man go crazy. But this is the creator, the God. And this is the one these devils hate. And this even a whole bunch of whack-ass, cool, melanated people that don't know who she is. But yet they want to open their mouth and talk anyway. That's why I'm glad they all going to be dealt with. All you got to read, let me read it. That's her message. Let me read it. At 4:03 p.m. Ironically, Tupac Shakur told you about Hail Mary or ISIS. And that's what he left of the movies. If you watch Tupac's movies, you kept seeing that 4:03. The 444, sucker. Archangel, Revelations and Prophecies, 444. Thomas More calls himself 444. See, people that have enlightenment and understanding, we know what it is. If you look up, you see the 13, because she's that 13. You got the 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. And then you got the 1, because she is the 1 and everything is 1 with her. The moment somebody try to divide whatever, that's a damn devil. Because even the Messiah told you everything is 1. You got to go back to your real science. You got to stop dealing with this matrix and this bullshit. Because that's what's going to get you in trouble. It's now 4:04 p.m. 44. That master number. Barack Obama, 44th president of the United States. And Trump's job is 45, the number 9, to bring it to the end. Because if you remember, that's when Jesus bowed his head down and gave up the ghost. Giving up that ghost is the end of Christianity. Even Louis J. Armstrong tells you that. Even Louis J. Armstrong tells you that Christianity, that big ass fish that the Bible talks about, Jesus said he's going to be in the belly of the fish for 3 days like Jonah. That's the end of the Holy Ghost, and that's the end of white supremacy Christianity. And then God's people become what God is, spirit. That's why you need to read John chapter 4 and get familiar with it. And then John chapter 7 tells you about that spirit got to come down. But if you don't know your Bibles, you keep on being coons and you keep running around on everybody on YouTube like a damn groupie. Taking, but picking and choosing or not giving back at all. You don't steal from this channel. You cursed. Everything around you cursed. You don't steal from this channel. Anybody tell you I was that dude that ran up on niggas? Don't take shit. Proverbs chapter 8. That's universal law. You give and receive. When you violate that law, that woman you looking at right there gonna fuck you up. You and yours. That's mama. And the 13th son used to tell you the same thing. And I just heard Dolo talking about somebody's firstborn. I said even because everything mama teach me, I hear Dolo talking about it. All the time. Proverbs chapter 8. Help me, mama. I want to thank God for this day. It was a good day. I was even doing business with my mama. It's been a big day for the mama, but that's what you see that moon out there. It's all about that moon. We're going to get to it. Proverbs chapter 8. This is about wisdom or Sophia. Just another name for mama. The divine feminine. But we're going to look especially at the mountains from Proverbs chapter 8, verse 25 to 36. Now, this is Mama talking. The whole chapter is about her. Wisdom, Sophia. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was, I brought forth. This is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 25 to 36. Then sacred number 11, the master teacher. The sensitive one, because it goes to number 2, or the couple, and that's the high priestess number 2. The divine feminine. Now, the mama's always been associated with the mountains and the hills. And why, as yet, he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of dust of the world. Now, why is it dust? Because, see, that's where the serpent, except for now on, you'll crawl on the dust with the belly on the dust, something like that. Genesis chapter 3. But the highest part is also associated with the dust of the world. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 27. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the deep, or the depth. Because that's her. That's the deep divine womb. The bottomless pit. The hollow. That's her. When he established the clouds above. Now, why are the clouds important? because those clouds are angelic. And the divine God or goddess was always coming in and out of those clouds talking to Moses. And she told you she's coming back in the clouds. When he established the clouds, when he strengthened the foundation of the deep. That strength is the kingdom. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 to 12. Now is the strength of the kingdom of the deep. But the deep is her deep divine womb, also known as the sea. You see that crescent moon by her navel. And that's why Dolo tells you the great navy. See, your sea, your physical sea is a replica of her divine womb, which we call spirit. So when you're on the sea talking about the navy, you're talking about her navel. Even if you notice, your nose is called nasal or navel. So in her mind, there's a connection between, because the Bible tells you that that dragon destroys with fire and then breathes new life. And that's why you see that dragon with her in Revelation 12. Because she's telling you it's time for one system to go down and another one to come back. But she's calling her children back to her divine womb. And this is why John chapter 3 talks about being born again and going back in your mama's womb. And at that end, the end of white supremacy will be fully complete, and the consummation by fire. And then all those people that went through white supremacy, her children, will be reawoken, giving an opportunity to once again exist as a son or daughter of God. That's where we're at right now. And anybody else don't know what the fuck they talking about. And y'all can go to a billion different videos, and those videos can have thousands and thousands and thousands of hits. But if it's not in harmony with what I just said, you're wasting your time. You better hope that God doesn't wipe those individuals out himself. Because if you're a groupie following those individuals, you're going to get wiped out too. By God. I told y'all over and over again. On the other channel, Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444, there's 2 videos about Moses delivering the people from Egypt, and then Moses being with those rebellious people in the wilderness. You need to get familiar with those videos and make sure you're not showing the same tendencies as the people in that video, because all of them got iced out. None of them made it into the promised land. God had all of them killed. Their children eventually made it in, but not them. Proverbs 8, verse 29. When he gave the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandments. Now those waters are metaphors for angels, and they did violate the commandments according to scripture. So God brought those fallen angels down, bound them into human bodies, because before that they had God bodies. When he established the clouds, okay, verse 29. When he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandments, when he appointed the foundations of the earth. Verse 30, Proverbs chapter 8, verse 30. There I was by him, as one brought up with him. I was daily in his delight. rejoicing always before him. So this person got to see creation firsthand. Rejoicing always before him. So I keep trying to tell you, when you see that word before, you got to be careful. Because Gabriel said, I stand before the presence of God. I stand before the throne of God. You see that great dragon in Revelation 12 standing before the woman. Sometimes when you stand before somebody, you're actually their soldier. You actually work for them. Sometimes when you stand before, you're actually the leader. Because the commanding officer stands before his troops. You got to make sure you understand which one did they stand. Because you may have read something in your mind. Well, it's obviously so. In your mind, you're going, it's obviously so-and-so is a whatever. But you're wrong. And that's why you have to learn to dig deeper. Remember, the context is Proverbs chapter 8 is all about her. Wisdom. So when she stands, and she's telling you, better listen to me. Hearken to me. So when she stands before, it's like a commanding officer looking at the troops. But if somebody tells you, I stand before the throne of God, then that person might be telling you, I'm important, but God is still more important to me because I stand before their throne. So you got to make sure you have all this stuff pretty much figured out. Otherwise, you're going to get wrong interpretation of Scripture. Proverbs 8 verse 30. Then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily by his delight. I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in our habitable part of his earth, that my delights were with the sons of men. And remember, a son of man is supposed to be coming, so there must be a connection between the son of man and these sons of men. Verse 32. Now therefore hearken unto me. Remember, this is wisdom saying, you better listen to me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. So how you going to keep the ways of somebody you don't know, or somebody you're refusing to acknowledge? Hear instruction and be wise. Now remember, this is wisdom talking. Proverbs chapter 8 is her. Sophia, Isis, the divine feminine. Even in a lighter term for the period of white supremacy, even Mother Mary. That's why Tupac is telling you Hail Mary, and Hitler said Heil and all that, because they're telling you they know who she is. They know the secret knowledge. And when Tupac gave you Hail Mary, he was telling you, I got to get out of here. If I don't fake my own death, they're going to kill me. So I gotta work with these damn devils to get out of here. And that's why they went out of their way to cover that shit up. All the authorities over in Nevada did everything to cover up what really happened the night Tupac and Lil D got shot. But that was some secret society, Freemasonry shit. And I give the Boo 77 a lot of props for trying his best to show y'all that it was a cover-up. But most people still believe it was real. Even though now we have proof. The man was an actor, man went to school. And we know there's some type of strange connection, a Freemasonry connection between. You even see Louis Farrakhan sitting with Nazis and just all kind of stuff. So there's some type of weird Freemasonry connection between all these offices and people y'all look at as black revolutionaries and stuff. Y'all want to know what a real black revolutionary is? Look at the people in Philly. That's the black revolutionary. Because they shot everybody up. They set that place on fire when them people were sleeping. And anybody that tried to come out, they shot them down. So those are real revolutionaries. Because they're not going to let you walk up no road with no guns and no stuff like that. You out your mind. That's why when Huey did it, he made sure he let you know I ain't got no bullets. I'm just expressing my First Amendment right to speak, and I'm gonna I'm gonna utilize my other right to bear arms. But don't worry, because my arms ain't got no bullets in it. See, let me tell you how it works. You got his story. See, it's his story. And then you got the real history where a real revolutionary get his head blown off. Quick. Especially if it look like you got a little uprising going on. It look like people starting to follow you. You gotta die. So I won't have time to find that, but you can check it out. Happened in Philly. And they was real. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Black Revolution. That's what I need to do. So they call themselves the Move. A black revolutionary group of African American self-empowerment known as the Move. And they've been having trouble with the police since 1972. And I'm looking right at the building. That they burnt that place down. See, that's how you know so if you really want to be a revolutionary, go join somebody like them. But when you get there, make sure that they as crazy and ready to fight as the other ones was. Because those are the ones that they burnt up. Didn't even let them people wake up. Didn't care that there was kids up in there. Didn't care that there was dogs up in there. See, that's how you know you're dealing with real revolutionaries. Because they're going to kill your ass. Anybody that's allowed to get TV time and marching and all that shit, that ain't no real revolutionary. And if you dig deep enough, there's so much information right out here on YouTube. If you dig deep enough, you're going to find out they all, one way or another, sleeping in bed together. No matter how much it seems like they hate each other and everything else. But that's a Freemasonry trick that's been going on for a long time. Because remember, these are really undercover Moors, and they took an oath of deception, just like Dodo tells you. They took an oath of deception. So all my videos for thinking people, but like I said, are there really any thinking people out there? Or do we just got groupies that jump from one video to another, but never take a stand no type of way? Unless it's selfish. Alright. So let's get back to what Mom was saying. Proverbs chapter 8. verse 32. Now therefore hearken unto me. In other words, listen to wisdom, Ramama, O ye children. For the blessed are they that keep my ways. Proverbs 8:33. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Proverbs 8:34. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates. Once again, you're always going to see the word GAT in association with the divine feminine. And I keep trying to tell you that name Gat, Gath, Gethsemane, Gate. This is all people that are right with the divine mother. You can see it all on the natal charts. You'll see it all over. That's why you can keep on acting like Joseph's brothers. Joseph told his brother, I'm here from the Most High. I have a purpose. And they laughed in his face and tried to kill him on some nigga shit. But once you know you got that calling, you got to learn to cut all these snakes out. Because them people going to try to stop you, lie on you. I got neighbors that go out their way to make my life a living hell. I've never did nothing to these people. Now I notice whenever anybody else parks in front of their house, they don't have a problem. If they see me, as soon as they see me, they start up the bullshit. Moving cars, assuming I'm gonna park somewhere that I'm not. Just stupid shit. If my car is out anywhere that they think is too close, they leave their light on all night long. Now these people know me since I was little. I ain't never been in their property, never touched nothing. But yet if a suspicious car is out by their house, they don't do shit. They go to bed and go to sleep. But if my car is anywhere near where they think is getting a little too close, they got the light on all night long. I don't have no history with these people. Never did nothing to these people. But that's because they got some type of evil on them. That's all I'm going to say. And they ready to start a war and all kind of crazy shit. Why? Because they got some type of evil spirit on them. And that spirit that's on them ain't the spirit of truth, which is why they got a problem with me. And that's the real reason why. Because if you set them down and ask them why, they're going to try to lie. And say, oh, it ain't no problem. Because they ain't got no problem. So they got to act like it ain't no problem. Because if you say, what's the problem you got with him? Oh, it ain't no problem, man. They ain't going to have no reason. Because we ain't never had no beef. Ain't never had none of this crazy ass people. They got evil spirits, some type of evil on them. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so it was a long standoff in 19. But May 13th is another metaphysical day. This is the day they burnt that place down. May 13th. But I forget what happened on May 13th. But no, it's something esoteric with that date. I just forget who. And if I had more time, we've been out here long enough. If I had more time, I would say if that was a Friday or not. May 13th, 1985. And give me a shout. I want to see if there's any information on them on YouTube. You gotta remember, this is in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is one of the last strongholds against white supremacy. That's why in Revelation, Book of Revelation, the only congregation that's gonna go into the presence of God is the Philadelphia church. Now y'all think it don't have but to do. Because as long as you're deceived by what these devils are telling you, you're never going to see it. But that don't mean it ain't going to happen just because you can't see it. That's why I say I don't even see it yet But I would have to dig deeper. Because that's what I'm trying to tell you. Why is it so hard to find? But you can see the other black organization, you find them real quick. But this one that they burned down, you got to really go look at digging to find it. Because one is real and one is just set up by the enemy to make you think they got your back. But all they got you doing is sitting on your ass. They don't got your back. They got you sitting on your ass not doing a damn thing. Give me one moment, because mama talking. And I can't rush it. So I'll show you all this picture too. Where they got them with their hands up. And they got the baby naked. Because they didn't care who died. They knew there was kids up in there. They didn't give a... That's how you dealing with real revolutionaries. Because these savages don't give a fuck about you. The resulting fire killed 11 people, including 5 children and the group's leader. John Africa was his name. And they call it Let the Fire Burn. I saw that. Well, they go talking about this is a new movie. I seen another movie went on about it. I was younger, but I said to myself, I said, no, those are real militants. Those are real revolutionaries. But they killed them quick. Anybody that been around for a long time, you know that they never made no move on TV, radio, all the shit they be talking, but they ain't never made no type of move whatsoever. And they ain't going to make no move. Because they're not the real deal. They the same as it's just the same color as you. Like I watched this old movie with Richard Pryor, and his parole officer was a black dude, but he was a coon. And so Richard Pryor looked at the white judge and said, he more whiter than you. Ha ha. Said, you got that right. All right. Keep talking about African American radical group. First off, I'm sure they didn't identify themselves as no African American. That bullshit. See, look at it. It finally came up. The forgotten police bombing of a Philadelphia pro-black group. Why is it forgotten? So they said, what is Move? This came out. It said Philly.com. Oh, Philly talking about it, though. Peace out to Philly.com. They talking about it, though. I would have been a different nigga if I had got with some real motherfuckers and not sell out coons like y'all niggas. I would have been a different nigga. But God knew what he was doing. How you a sellout coon? You still don't give back. Don't do shit even if you get information. Just like a groupie ass coon and shit. And mad. That's why I love this planet so much. Y'all mad because somebody tell you the truth. You ain't mad about your lifestyle, how you living, the cowardness, the weakness, living a couple of steps above an animal. You ain't mad about none of that shit. You just mad because somebody exposing that shit. Because God sent somebody to tell you what's really good. And it really ain't good. Ha ha. But let me finish what Mama talking about. Proverbs 8:33. Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Because remember, wise wisdom is her. Blessed is the man that heareth me. Again, this is wisdom. Watch if daily in my gates waiting at the post of my doors. Again, all this is metaphysical speaking. Gateways, doorways, same thing Peter did in Acts chapter 12. He tried to get in through the gate. The gate would have led to the doorway, but he wasn't allowed in. For whoso findeth me findeth life. So when you really growing with the Divine Mother, that woman you looking at right now, God, you don't got nothing to worry about. Because even Jesus said they can kill your body, but they can't kill your soul, can't kill your relationship with the Most High. So when they burn for eternity in hell, you'll be able to see them dying, Luke chapter 6, and they'll get exactly what they deserve. Proverbs 8, verse 36. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. So again, say, oh, I'm a good Baptist. I'm a good Protestant. I'm a good Reformist. I'm a good Presbyterian. Go on all these different names and denominations. I'm non-denominational. But I don't know anything about no female God. That sounds crazy to me. Everybody knows God's a man. He's masculine, male energy. And I say, you a goddamn liar. So those type of people are going to be the ones burning. Now, since I know I pissed off a lot of people, let me finish up by saying, when certain people say the black woman is God, they're not lying. Metaphysically speaking, she's divine darkness that's feminine. Everything came out of her womb. So any female is projecting the divine feminine, but she is dark. Even Paul Bagley says dark matter, the God particle. Even he knows, and all that is melanin. And these devils, if they've ever been in space, but if they have been in space, they needed a black woman to do it. They needed her melanin. Check that out on YouTube. Because they said every time they tried to send a ship up without melanin, shit just burnt the fuck up. Look into it. Now, you see the moon behind her. But it's crescent. Why does she care about the crescent so much? A lot of reasons. But the crescent moon gives you the looks a little bit like the pregnant woman. Gives you a little bit about the Christ, because crescent sounds like Christ. And what it does, it gives you a little bit of light, but a lot of darkness. And that's what she is, because it's very mysterious. And if you know women, a lot of times women are like that. They're always going to keep their own inner view. I said inner view, not interview. Inner view. But it's funny how those two words sound alike. Because even when you go to an interview, you're trying to put your best foot forward. But that person you're trying to be is not who you really are. In an interview, what you're telling that person is, oh, I qualified for this job. This is how you should hire me for these reasons. I feel you should hire me for these reasons. But you damn sure wouldn't go in there and say, hey, look, I'm a freak, man. On my off hours, I like to do this. I like to do that. They be like, what? And if the person is real, they're going to be like, I do too, but don't tell nobody that. You ain't going to get no job telling people that. So on your interview, it's that crescent. You're showing a little bit of who you are, enough to get that job. But the rest of who you are, you don't want them to know about. And that's any politician, preacher, you name it. You're only showing enough of a view to get that approval you're looking for. To get that money you're looking for. So in that way, everybody's a crescent. But the crescent also tells you that this experiment of white supremacy has its limits. before it goes into total darkness. And usually when a moon goes into total darkness, they call it a new moon, because then it ain't going to be no white supremacy. And this is why Isaiah 60 verse 2, it says the whole earth is becoming black. And also Joel chapter 2 equates the coming again of God of darkness. Because that's when these melanated people who are just like her rise back up. Now on the top of her head is a crescent. Showing a deep connection to the divine feminine, but also to her secrets, but also to her birth. Because she's very, very, very interested in her creations that she gave birth to. And the crescent moon represents the divine darkness, which is eternity. Whereas the sun is limited. I keep telling you, modern day Christianity as we know it relates to the sun. And they don't really have a whole lot of desire for our secrets, our darkness. But that's one of the main reasons why it can't last. Because there will come a time when any form of light is taken back into the darkness. That's why they call it the consummation. Everything gets swallowed or consumed back into the darkness from which it came out of. And that's why in John chapter 3 they said the man returns to his mother's womb. And remember, Nicodemus came in the nighttime or the darkness. Now, she has horns, kind of, coming out of both sides of her head. But even her horns are shaped like the crescent moon. So somehow she's equating the crescent moon with some type of death or destruction. Because remember, for every new creation, the old creation has to die, go pass away. And a lot of if you know anything about military invasions, they do that. Like once they take over, they kill everybody. Anybody that they think might be a threat or could be a threat, they might just kill you because they don't like your ass. They figure your time is up. Now remember, she's a woman. So you know how you be hearing these rappers talking about my pussy is ill nana? That's how she sees her breast is beautiful. Just like when you see women and they just pull their breasts out in public because they want to breastfeed their child or something. To them, it's beautiful. But the way we're trained by religion and everything else, we go, hey, don't do that. Hey, that's indecent. But to her, she said, ain't nothing decent about me, ain't nothing decent about my body. And if you can't deal with a woman's body, that's your problem. So the Divine Mother can be something like that in some ways. And you say, hey, well, what about the Bible? The Bible says this, the Bible says that. But you have to remember your Bible was given to you basically by white supremacists who were telling you homosexuality was wrong, but most of those guys was homos. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you the biggest hypocrisy around is that people that gave you the Bible gave you morals that they don't even follow. While they were chopping up people, raping kids, and doing all kind of crazy stuff, they're trying to teach you how to serve your and all that bullshit. Again, not saying what's right, not saying what's wrong, but I am saying what's a hypocrite. Now, why this person chose these colors, you'll never know, but it's very, very beautiful. Especially how he made the divine dark feminine different shades of what almost look like red. The color is splendid. And then you see her relating this outer space because she loves outer space. It's like it's her canvas. She's an artist and outer space is her canvas. And if you were ever to go outside in the nighttime and just keep your eyes looking around, you would see a lot of things that are not being reported. And then her wings, once again, that goes real deep. But when we think about Egyptology, it talks a lot about the wings of a divine feminine, a divine female. And they can use those wings to mean a lot of stuff. From shielding the pharaoh to balance and justice to protection and deliverance to even relationships. But it could be much, much more. Now, for some reason, she has a white horse looking at the serpent. And the white horse is in her right hand. A lot of times in movies, the hero comes on a white horse. Sometimes you might say, well, is that Jesus, the white horse? For people that really know metaphysics, Archangel Gabriel is always at the right hand of God. Gabriel is God's enforcer. So you say, well, is that what that white horse symbolizes? Like, we don't know. The person who drew this picture might know, but you really don't know. Then in her left hand is the serpent. And we already explained what the serpent means, but we just don't know why the serpent was put in the left hand. But if I had to give you some type of answer, I would tell you that what she's showing you, just like behind her, she's showing you the limited existence of white supremacy. Because you know how they got John Wayne as their hero and all kind of crazy stuff. Ronald Reagan is their hero and all that. Riding around on horses, killing Native Americans and stealing their land and doing what they thought that made America great. And a lot of times, God's right hand represents her executioner, like Gabriel or somebody else that. Because sometimes people will just wait till the child makes a mistake or something, and then they'll make them sit there and watch something or whatever. We already talked about her navel. And again, that's something you have to go even deeper into. But I think that navel has something to do with outer space. But if you notice that shit, they call it your belly button or whatever. But it's like a hole. It's like a hole that if you were to study that belly hole, belly button, essentially you will learn something that's kind of considered unknown the most or secretive. Because there's something about that belly button that definitely has to do with secrets. And you may not see it that the same way, but most people will tell you belly buttons are considered sexy usually. Like the stomach area, the belly button. If a man see that, he be done lost his mind. Depending on how it looks and all that. So the message is, with this blood moon, 'cause I told you Lilith is coming. The message is with this blood moon of January 20th or January 21st, 2019. That presence will be made known more so. And like I told you, it's time for her to pull her children that we just read about in Proverbs chapter 8. It's time for her to pull her children out of that deep. And if you notice by her navel, once again, she has a crescent moon. No horns. Now remember, her right hand is Gabriel. So even Gabriel might be that rider on the white horse in her right hand. And the reason why they say horn, because Gabriel will set it off. Gabriel will set off that so-called last day judgment on these fake religions or whatever people are selling God out for. And this all takes on way more power as we near that full moon of this month, 2019, and after it. And also, those colors probably have a meaning that I don't particularly know. But I remember they used to call it Native Americans Redskins and all that. Also, in her pants, I think it could just be me, but it looked like she got unks in her pants. But I could, because she's got some type of design in there as well. But if you're a woman, yeah, because the delivery person was a dark skinned woman. But I think she is from Haiti. But I was out there cracking jokes with her. Because some of them delivery women, I be out there cracking jokes with them, be making them laugh. But it may also be the rise of women of color. Because they kind of get they kind of get like a bad, whatever you want to call it. But for me personally, my best experiences have been with very dark skinned women, especially sexually. Like the last person I saw was I was in this department store a few weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago or so, and that female was way more attractive than any. Like there's certain people they say they got the most attractive women or whatever, but that female, I don't know what she was. She might have been black, African, I don't know. Might have been Haitian, but I think she was black African. But she was way more. So they're gonna shine as well. And maybe that's why that female showed up at nowhere out of my job. She wasn't really dark skinned, but she was darker. She like darker caramel or whatever, kind of darker brown skin. But she wasn't like dark. But she just showed up out of nowhere. And I knew she had a message because she kept popping up out of nowhere. So that's the message. If y'all was paying attention. And we just had in fact, the moon is right now. The moon is in a waxing crescent moon. Waxing means it's getting ready to go full soon. Let me figure that out real quick, and then we can get out of here. How to tell whether the moon is waning or waxing. All right, they're saying a waning moon from your perspective, from your left side. So whatever you see out of your left eye, if you see like the lighter side of the moon out of your left eye, that's a waning moon. If you see the lighter side of the moon out of your right eye, that's a waxing moon. According, that's what they're saying. Because I just saw something, but I wasn't paying that much attention to it. The other night, I just saw like one of these moons, but I wasn't really watching to see if it was on the right side or the left. So in this picture, you're looking at the picture with her. You're looking at a waning crescent moon because it's to your left. In other words, surely it would be a dark moon, black moon, new moon. So again, it's the end of white supremacy, and soon it'll be back to the darkness. Everything came from the darkness. Everything will return to the darkness, just like the Bible tells you. And at that point, it will now be a new creation. And this is why Jesus said, they said, why don't you follow the practices that we've been following for decades? And Jesus said, because we're about to make all things new. And when you make all things new, you don't keep practicing the old. So we're not going to use old wine skins. We're going to use new, this and that. This is Get. I'm out.